Well, next, could a simple test save the lives of thousands of vulnerable babies? That's the hope of one couple from York who've endured the heartache of losing their son at just a few days old.
Baby Tommy died from a heart defect that meant his arteries were the wrong way round, but neither his parents or doctors knew anything about his condition until he stopped breathing.
Well, now his parents, Andy and Natasha, want every hospital in the country to offer a test which measures oxygen levels in the blood, a test which could have saved Tommy's life and perhaps countless more. John Hill reports.
What is it?
There's a new bundle of joy for Andy and Natasha. Say hello to baby Albie, born just a few weeks ago. Albie should have been welcomed into the world by his big brother Tommy. Tommy would have celebrated his 4th birthday next January. But at just 11 days old, he stopped breathing.
It was just like sheer panic. You think, well, what do we do? And it was sort of like trying to resuscitate him, but trying to speak to the operator, trying to listen to them, but you're going into panic, but you don't know what to do.
Tommy had a heart defect called transposition of the great arteries. It can be corrected by an operation, surgery that has a 99% success rate, but only if the heart condition's been detected. And the way to do that can be by a simple test called the pulse oximetry test. It measures oxygen saturation levels in the blood. Here it's demonstrated by Leeds midwife Jo Croton.
A lower than expected value can mean it may be a potentially heart problem. 100%, which is fantastic.
Now, Natasha has teamed up with a charity called Tiny Tickers for a campaign called Test for Tommy. It aims to buy the testing machines for every hospital in the UK.
I would like to see every baby have this test, that it comes into every hospital, every baby receives it when they're born, and whether it's this condition or another, or something else that the pulse oximetry can pick up, whether it's a circulatory problem, a lung problem. I just want them to have the chance to fight it, the chance to fight for their life.
There's a chance to, like say, at least be given to fight it.
Around about 1,000 babies leave UK hospitals every year with a heart defect that hasn't been spotted, and some of those babies will need open heart surgery, and some of them might need it quite urgently, as was the case with baby Tommy. So the appeal here is to buy these machines that can potentially help midwives and hospital staff to spot that the baby might be ill and might have a life-threatening heart defect before they head home and potentially fall into heart failure.
At just a few days old, baby Albie picked up a lung infection. Doctors used the oxygen saturation test to try and work out just what was wrong with him. Thankfully, he's now better, but he's already benefited from the legacy of his big brother. Andy and Natasha now hope their efforts may help spare other families the heartache they've had to endure. John Hill, ITV News, York.
Well, a little earlier I spoke to Professor Andrew Ewer, an expert in neonatal medicine. He was in our Birmingham newsroom, and I started by asking him how crucial it is to get the screening procedure used as standard in hospitals.
Well, we did a study a number of years ago now, in 2011, which showed that if you screen babies before they go home from hospital with a pulse oximeter, then you can pick up 92% of babies with serious heart defects. And until we'd introduced this, about a third of babies with serious heart defects were being discharged from hospital. Some of them were becoming very unwell, and some unfortunately were dying. We've shown that this test can improve the detection of babies with serious heart defects, and we're very keen to get as many babies as possible to give them the opportunity to have this test.
It begs the question that you did this research some 7 years ago, and here we are talking about still not having this available in our hospitals. It seems crazy to the outsider.
Yes, it's been a long journey. About half of the hospitals in the UK now are using this test, but that of course means that half are not. I've been talking with the National Screening Committee now for some time, and they're carefully considering the evidence that we've presented to them, evidence from other countries that suggests that this is an important test. And I'm very hopeful that they will make a decision regarding this in the very near future.
And to stress again, it's a very simple procedure that is actually used in hospitals for other reasons too.
Absolutely. If anyone who's ever been into A&E or in the back of an ambulance or in hospital with some sort of illness will almost certainly have had a pulse oximeter clipped to their finger. It's very simple, it's painless, you get a result in a few seconds, and it can save lives.
The difference, as you've just stressed, it can be incredible. It does have that much of a difference.
It does, yes. Yeah.
OK, Professor Ewer, we've got to leave it there. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Pleasure, thank you.